Hi, everybody. It's Executive Director Sheryl Zimmerer coming to you to talk to you about the updates to the Ready Schools Safe Learners guidance that Oregon Department of Education put out last week, and how it affects our school and how it affects our students, and hopefully answer any questions you have about how LOGOS is going to go forward. So I spent this morning going to the staff meetings, going to the elementary staff meeting, and then going to the middle high staff meeting to talk with the staff about this guidance and to share with them the department's education's plan. And so I wanted to take some time and share it with families. So I am going to go over to a PowerPoint that was sent to all of us from the Oregon Department of Education. And share it with you. Now, this isn't all the slides that were in this PowerPoint. I did take a few out that were more technical in nature and not just about how to do some things, but for the most part, this was put out by the Oregon Department of Education. So they did this last week, and then they had a press conference last Friday. So they've decided to update the metrics, and the update to the metrics is actually a huge update. And so the question was why update the metrics right now? And they say because returning to in-person instruction is one of their highest priorities. And they also said that they have new data available to since August, when they first created the metrics, to back up the need to start doing in-person instruction. And they also said that they believe that schools can mitigate the risk of COVID because of all the protocols they've put in place for schools. So I'm going to share with you a press conference. Let's see if I can share this, hopefully with sound. Let's see. Let me stop my share and then reshare real quick. Because I want to make sure I'm sharing it with sound. Hold on. Share computer sound. All right. So let me go to about
I think
30.
We can all agree this has been
36.
much harder than
Someone
any
asked
of us
why now.
anticipated.
I thought it was a really, they answered.
What we as a country, what is really, really clear is that in the
Thank you. Some of the things we've heard today regarding the low risk to students, as well as the need to be back in person, are not new. My question is, why make these changes when Oregon is seeing a spike in cases, the hospitalizations are up, other states are sending patients here? Can you just address the optics of doing this now when many are concerned about the numbers we're seeing? Maybe each of you can address that.
Thank you, Ray. And that's a really good question and timely. We've obviously been working on these metrics for the last couple of weeks. I've had the opportunity to speak with teachers across the state, with superintendents, with principals, and with students, and with parents about the challenges they are currently facing. What is really, really clear is that in the 7 months that we have been involved in this pandemic, and in the couple of months since we released our original school metrics, is that the evidence-based practices and the science and data has advanced, and we're aligning these metrics with the evidence and data that's out there now. Number two, the second thing that's really clear that we didn't know, honestly, at the time, is that with adherence to safety protocol, wearing face coverings, masks, hand washing, physical distancing, what is really clear is that schools are not super spreader events. So that's really important. And then I think, and Director Gill spoke very eloquently to this, the challenge for our students in terms of learning through the internet. I heard during my Healthy Schools Reopening Council meeting from 3 of the students. They talked about the challenge that they and their friends are facing in terms of keeping up with their education, that the social isolation is really, really challenging, and we're seeing the impacts on our kids across the state. So it's all of those pieces and more. Director Gill.
Sure. I can add just a little bit to that. I think it's first important to know that this was part of our planned review. It's what we committed to when we first released our metrics. And as part of that, we are reviewing all the current studies and Oregon's current data. It's also important to know that the metrics that we created are still among the more conservative in the United States. We have states in the United States that don't have metrics. We have states in the United States that require in-person instruction at every school. That's not what Oregon is doing. We're taking a measured approach. We're taking a look at our data, and we're making decisions that bring our students back to a structured environment where we can follow protocols to reduce risk of the transmission of COVID-19. You know, around the world, we're also seeing spikes in other countries. Many of those countries are again looking at locking down or closing down sectors of their society, and typically schools are not among those. Schools, again, are these structured environments where students are used to coming in and following a different set of rules than they follow in their own households. In this setting, we can enforce rules that include the face coverings, physical distancing, maintaining small cohorts, and helping to reduce risk of spread of COVID-19. And then I want to be honest here too. This is in the weekly report from OHA. Week after week, we have schools open to in-person instruction in Oregon now. We have about 50,000 students that are attending in-person instruction on a regular basis, and we have had cases in our schools. And we have also had very little transmission in our schools. So our students and staff members are identified early, and because of the protocols in place, we're not seeing transmission. So we think we can do that for more of Oregon students and provide a better service to them.
So, so that is what they're saying with the new updated metrics. And let me go back to my PowerPoint so I can share with you what they're saying now. So let's see if I can change this. There we go. So in returning to in-person instruction, they want to make sure that all of our schools are doing all the right public health protocols, that we're looking at the metrics, and they want to make sure that they're conveying to Oregonians how to keep the metrics lower and how to get kids back to school. So one of the questions was with the new update of the lockdowns that are coming in place for Jackson County, does that affect schools? And one of the emails that we got from the superintendent of ODE said this effort does not impact schools. And you heard him say in the video that one of the things that they're looking at is they're not looking to shut down schools again. As a matter of fact, it sounds like even if they do lock down other parts of the sectors like they are right now, schools are not going to be something that they are looking to lock down again. They believe that with all the protocols in place at schools, that schools can be a safe place for kids and for teachers and for families. So this was the previous metrics, and if I remember correctly, it was the case rate was supposed to be less than 10 cases per 100,000. So one of the things we were, the rough numbers we were looking at is that we would have to have less than 22 cases, I believe, in order to be able to do full day everybody all the time. And then we had to have between 22 and 66 cases, and my numbers could be wrong, but somewhere around there, to do elementary. And then more than 66 cases was going to be in the red zone. So you can see since the beginning of the year, we have been in the red zone consistently under the previous metrics. So the new metrics changed it quite a bit. So now what they say is that you have to have less than 50 cases per 100,000. And since I believe we have more than 200,000 people in Jackson County, that would mean about 100 cases, less than 100 cases in a week would be considered K-12 can be back. And I could be wrong with my numbers, but this is what I've been led to believe. And then they're hybrid, which is more of what our program is to begin with. where kids aren't at school 5 days a week. They allow 50 to 100 cases per 100,000 people over 14 days. And so that would be anywhere from 100 to 200 cases. Now this transition phase is new. So what it looks like to me is that if you're in the yellow and you go over 100 cases per 100,000 in a week, you can go, they want you to keep an eye on the trend and see if you're trending towards more cases or trending downward. And if you're trending towards more cases at 200 cases per 100,000 over 14 days, you would need to go into comprehensive distance learning. So that's essentially 400 cases for Jackson County in a given 2-week period. And then the county case rate would need to be over 10% to be in the red, the comprehensive distance learning. If you're in the red, if you're in the orange, and you used to be in the red, you're not necessarily supposed to go into the hybrid unless you're trending down, and you're supposed to do that in like conjunction with the health authority. So that's kind of what this is saying, whether you're trending up or trending down and trending towards on-site or trending towards comprehensive distance learning is what they want to look at going forward. So you can see that these numbers increase quite a bit from what was the previous lockdown. So currently, the new numbers are, we were in the orange until last week when we got into the red, because we talked about more than 400 cases. So they look at a 14-day total. So if you look at the 633 cases for last week, that adds up the 230 cases with the 403 cases from the week before to put us in the 633 cases, which is 286 cases per 100,000, and it's at 14%. So that would be in the comprehensive distance learning. But under comprehensive distance learning, I should say, they allow limited in-person instruction that allows for one-on-one meetings and certain things in place. So they allow 20 students to be together in any given cohort. So it is a possibility that we could open up some activities and some classes but we had to keep the number down to 20. But with the requirement of 35 square feet for each student, I don't think any of our rooms would have 20 students in to begin with. And then they also removed there used to be that we couldn't do these limited in person for more than 250 students. They removed that. There's no cap on the number of students that could be seen in person. They did say at the bottom that if a teacher is doing one-on-one, that they require that they not interact with more than 60 one-on-one students in a given day. And with our teachers that in our one-on-one, the most they typically see in a day is 6 students. So we're well underneath those numbers. They also said that this applies obviously to Jackson County. We do have a little bit of a difference in Josephine County. So if we have a Josephine County teacher that's seeing a Josephine County student, then they are actually in this K-12 eligible, that they could go over 2 hours, that they could we could possibly do some classes in Josephine County. So Josephine County is in this green zone, and Jackson County is in this, red zone now. And so Jackson County, we can't send Jackson County teachers in this hot zone to Josephine County. That wouldn't work, but the Josephine County teacher can see Josephine County students. All right, so the key thing that they want to say, I believe now, is that they believe schools can be a safe place. And they want us to make sure we work on maintaining physical distancing of 35 square feet for every student, that people are using face coverings. And so the use of face coverings in meetings and in classes are required. There is the ability for small periods of time, especially for younger students, for a teacher to use a shield if they want to show letters and words, and especially as students are learning phonics. And they believe that, of course, that we want to wash our hands frequently and be prepared to isolate and quarantine at the first sign of illness, and disinfect often. And the good thing about our school is we have a great filtration ventilation system, changing out the air in rooms many times an hour. So that's a good thing. But meeting outdoors is it continues to be a good thing to do. So some things for our school is I want to convey to you, for those of you who are concerned about the virus, you may still choose meetings virtually for the whole year. We can continue to meet with you virtually. For those of you who don't want to wear a mask, we can also continue to meet virtually for this entire year. So by OSHA requirements, masks are required for working conditions for anybody who's going to be within 6 feet of a person. So whether someone is at home or whether someone is at school, we need to have people who are within the realm of our teachers wearing a mask or a shield. Masks are preferred. So for home meetings, anyone who will be in the same room as a teacher needs to have a mask or a shield. If you don't want to do that, you could have meetings here at the school. You drop off your child and they'll just wear a mask or a shield. We have some shields that they could wear. Right, next one for younger children, we have shields we can give out. But we will be getting to offer more and more in-person opportunities and more in-person activities with these updated metrics. We believe in the power of the connection between a teacher and a student, and the connection of students with each other. But we believe if we can increase the hand hygiene and increase the mask use and increase all those things, that we can do this safely and get kids back into in-person activities. We will still be offering virtual options because we do have people who want virtual options for this year. One more thing, so the maximum limit right now that a student can be at the school on any given day is 2 hours. So if you have a meeting that would be normally 4 hours long, or a campus class, and usually you do a meeting after that and the campus class is 2 hours, we can't have a student at our school more than 2 hours on any given day. You could see your teacher if you had a 4-hour meeting normally for 2 hours on one day and 2 hours on another day, but it can't be 4 hours on the same day. And so what you'll probably see is over the next couple weeks, your teacher sending out to you a questionnaire about whether you're wanting to meet at your home, and everybody will need to be, who's in the room with the teacher, will need to be wearing a mask. So maybe if you don't want that to happen, to have a safe place in another room that a teacher can be with the door open, then the teacher and the student are wearing a mask. And if you don't want to do that, you can have the student just come to the school and have the meeting at the school, and they'll wear a mask while they're on campus. Or you can just choose to meet virtually this year, and that's okay too. So we're trying to provide options, and I know there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about whether we should meet, whether we shouldn't meet, whether we should have to wear masks, whether we shouldn't. But we need to follow the requirements that are given to us by the state of Oregon, and that is that we will wear masks and we want to wash our hands, but we also want to get back to in-person instruction and being able to see students in person and meet with them. So if you have any questions or any concerns, or want to reach out to me and ask some questions, you can email me at admin@logoscharter.com, and I'll try and answer any of your questions. If any of this changes and I got something wrong, I'll try and update you with that information. So thank you guys for investing in our school, and we look forward to seeing your wonderful faces in person very, very soon. I was going to put on my mask so you could see what you'll look like, but I don't know if it's sitting around here somewhere. So thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. All right. Thanks. Bye.